Hey fellow gliders, welcome back. I'm Robert Petito, and in this video we're going to show you how you can create status updates automatically based on other data that's happening in the app. Too many times I see apps built where you have to manually select a status, and all that's going to do is just create a bottleneck, and if someone isn't updating it in time, you're not going to have up-to-date statuses. So instead, a better way is to allow that status to update based on things that are already happening in the app. And what I love to do is leverage timestamps. So I'm going to show you here in this video how you can create a series of date time columns in your app and then allow those date time columns to influence the status of any particular record. Let's go ahead and dive in. So this app is a way for us to record claims that are happening within inside of this company. And we want to track the status automatically as the claim process is going through its pipeline. And so at each stage of the pipeline, we're going to record a timestamp, and that timestamp will then dictate what the status is. So if I visit my data section of my app, and go to my claims records here, we see I already have a bunch of information about this claim, but we have lots of date columns that I've added in here. So for example, I have a timestamp as to when this claim was first created. I have an appointment date time as to when that claim should have happened. In this case, it's a trucking company, so we want to mark when they arrived and when they departed, separate from the appointment itself. Okay, then after they've departed, they're ready to submit their claim. So we're going to have a submitted date time column. And then finally, they're going to await payment. So they're going to have a received payment date time column. Okay, we could also have another date time column for whether something was canceled or denied. And they can trigger some sort of other like denied date instead of received payment date. All right, so now that we have all of these date time columns, now we're ready to create the conditional status based on those columns. To do that, we're going to create an if then else column. We don't want to rely on just some text column that someone's going to input information into. We can maybe use a notes column for that, but we don't need it to be a status column. So we're going to add a column to our right here. We're going to call this, in my case, claim /status. And the type, this is where the magic kicks in, is a computed column and then an if then else column. And then when crafting this if then else column, we want to start with whatever the final status could possibly be for this record and then work backwards. Okay, so in this case, maybe the denied is the ultimate status. So we could check to see if the claim denied date is not empty, meaning I've populated a date for that denial, then we should have the status of denied. And if we left this as is with no default status, we see that we have just some blank status here. But if we put in a denied date here, okay, now we see that the status changes automatically because it's looking at this data. Okay, if we want a default status, we can just add that here under the else column. So for example, this is a new claim. All right, again, we're going to work backwards. So if something hasn't been denied, the most final status that could possibly be that this claim was paid out. So I can check the paid out date, claim received payment date. If that's not empty, then we can mark it with the status of complete, or in this case, maybe paid. Next, we're going to add a case, and we're going to say if something has not been paid yet, but at least it was submitted, the submitted date is not empty, then our status could be submitted. All right, so if they haven't yet submitted anything, but they have left the job, so the job is done, they just haven't submitted the job, in this case where the departure date time is not empty, because I've left the job, then maybe this is job complete or ready for submission, just to alert the user that, hey, you need to submit this thing now. So that's the new status. Okay, if they haven't departed yet, that must mean that they're still on the job. So in this case, the most other recent date is the arrival date time. Okay, so if the arrival date time is not empty, that must mean that they have arrived and the job is in progress. All right. If they haven't arrived yet, but it's been scheduled, in this case, our claim appointment date time, if that's not empty, then our job is at least scheduled. Okay, finally, if they haven't yet had an appointment date time, means this job has not even been scheduled yet, it must be a new status, and we can default to this new status here. All right, click on save, and we see here that our status now is ready for submission because I already have other dates that have already been populated in those other arrival and departure times here. Okay, but the moment that I submit the form, we now see it's been submitted, and if it's received on a payment, and it's been paid. Otherwise, it can go from submitted to denied. All right, so now we have this text status that we can submit anywhere. What I also like to do is include maybe an icon or a color to go along with the status as well. All right, so an easy way to do that is just to duplicate this column. And then for each of these different statuses, okay, you can create a color. So maybe new is gray. If something is scheduled, maybe it's blue. In progress, maybe it's orange. Ready for submission is teal. Something has been submitted, purple. Paid, green. And the denied is red. Okay, we can do a color here. Likewise, we could also do, and let's call this a status color. Okay, likewise, we can do an icon. So we could do a status emoji. Okay, and same thing. We can either use these colors. So I could do like a gray circle or a white circle. Or maybe we can do a box, or a square, I think we call it. So we can do a white square versus a blue square. So we're just searching for the word square in our emojis here. I can spell the word square correctly. Orange square, which reminds me of a recent Saturday Night Live. If you haven't seen the Saturday Night Live skit about emojis, it just happened recently here in March 2026. You got to check it out. It's the funniest thing. Okay, purple. I don't know if it was a purple square. Blue. Oh, there is. Okay, good. I don't think there's a teal square though. In this case, maybe not a green square. We want the green check mark. Something's been paid. And then a red square. So yeah, I don't think that we have a teal square. So we have to go with like brown square. And maybe we just go brown then for the color, just to kind of keep it consistent. Okay. And so now that we have the status, we have the status emoji, we have the color, we have all the things, right now we can actually display this at the record level. So either we can group by status. So here we see I have a list of recent claims. This is just a list of my claims for this particular person. And we can display the status in a variety of ways. We can go to options and we can maybe group by status. So if I go to my custom, or I guess I can't do it with a custom collection. If I had a table, let's unhide this table. All right. I can group by the claim status like that. So we see that these are all be submitted and then so forth. Okay, but if we want to involve that color, what we can do is we can add a tag column. So I can add an item here to my table component. And the type is going to be a tag type. Our value is going to be our status. So our claim status. All right. And if I left this just as is like this and brought this to the top, maybe we see our tag says submitted. Okay. But maybe we want to color this now, right? So back over here, our source is going to be our claims table. Our values will be our claim status. It's going to find then all of those statuses, and then we can choose a related color. So we don't want the app to automatically choose the color. We want to choose the color. So we're going to say manual. And based on this value that we're selecting, what should the color be? It should be the associated color with our status color. All right, so in this case, it's purple. Okay. And then the moment that we deny something, it should turn red. So if I put in a denied date here, okay, we should see that the denied turned red, which is awesome. Okay, and then otherwise, if we wanted to mark it as not denied but paid, it should turn green. And there's our paid status. Pretty cool. All right, so that's how you can use status colors in a table component. Okay, if you're not using a table component and we're just displaying it in a card, let's say, then we can use a combination maybe of that emoji and the status. So inside of this custom collection that I have a title here, and I like to put the statuses in that emphasis text. I already have a date in there, but maybe I want both. So I'm gonna go ahead to this emphasis text over here, come to the beginning of it, and I'm going to select our claim icon first, or emoji, and to put it at the end for some reason, like that. And if you wanted to leave it at that, you could, right? But maybe that's not giving enough context. So then we can add the status as well. So I can do claim status. Like that. And then to separate the status with the other information, for example, like the date, I like to use that little small, medium bullet point type circle. I have a shortcut for that, like that. I think it looks kind of classy. It's paid, that's the most recent date, right, and so forth. And then you can have your status shown with the emoji and the status like that. So yeah, a variety of ways where you can display that status. You can either group, or you can display as a tag, right? You can also create filters. So once you create those statuses, you can go to options and create an in-app filter on any of your collections, and you can then filter by status, like that. You can filter by the specific status, and that will be the records that show up here in your custom collection. Now, the only thing I haven't shown you yet is how to actually mark those date time columns so you can have that status updated automatically. And to do that, you would just do it either in the edit screen or on the details screen of that record. So if I were to dive into this claim, I could have an edit button here, which allows me to submit the timestamp using a date time entry column. Or if you want to be a little bit more clever, you can add buttons to your app. So I can add a button block somewhere over here. And you can have something where it's like mark as paid, right? But maybe you're only allowing it to be marked as paid when it's been submitted, because you don't want that button to show up ahead of time, right? And so the mark as paid action is just a simple set column value action where we're going to mark the claim, in this case, received payment date, as the current date and time. And you only want this button to show up under certain conditions. So you set those conditions on the buttons using the options visibility condition here. And so, for example, this mark as paid button should not show up when the claim has not been submitted yet. So in this case, the submitted date has to not be empty. You also don't want them to mark it as paid multiple times. So this button should show up only when marked as paid is empty. So add a condition here to this button when the claim received payment date is empty, like that. All right, so the moment that I mark it as paid, this button should go away and the status should update. All right, so the button went away and we see that the status was updated to paid. Right, and you would just create a series of buttons with similar type functionality and visibility conditions for each of those different statuses that you would want to include in that record. All right, in no time at all, we created a way for our users to update the status automatically based upon timestamps that are already being recorded in our app. Your users are gonna love it because they no longer have to do the double duty of marking timestamps and manually selecting a status. It's just gonna happen as they progress throughout the app. Now, if you have any questions about any of the things you've seen in today's video, or if you need one-on-one assistance with development or app audits, I provide those services as well. Feel free to reach out to me in the comments below. You can also reach out to me at Twitter at rpetito, in the Glide community forum, Robert_Petito, or you can reach out to me at unropedapps.com. And until then, continue gliding, and as always, thanks for watching.